If you're feeling a little bit like I'm reacting to life, or you're not actively designing it, then you could be falling into the trap of being reactive rather than proactive. And I'm going to talk today about designing a life you love. And today we're talking about how to go from reactive to proactive, basically allowing you to design a life you love. And if you are reacting to life, then are you actively designing it? You're not. You're not. And this matters so much because if you're living proactively, it allows you to really focus on what truly matters. And what truly matters is you, what you want, what you need, your desires, your passions, the legacy that you are meant to leave in the world. Now, this topic came up for me because just today we were doing the last quarterly session of the Dynamic Year program. In that program, we create what I call the Dynamic Life Blueprint. It's your theme, your guidelines, your values, your new paradigm, and your goals for the entire year. And in doing this, what we found and some of the feedback that came today, which just I was super pleased about, is that the different women, they were like, oh, wow, I was able to focus better. I was able to get done the goals that I wanted to achieve. And it all came from them being proactive in designing what life is going to be like. And, in the Dynamic Year program, we talk about the Dynamic Life Blueprint. In Dynamic Balance, we talk about measuring our lives according to our satisfaction, not our success. And so today I'm going to go through some main points around the problems of reactivity, the power of being proactive, and how you can shift from being reactive to being proactive and what that would look like for you. Now, I mainly speak to high achieving women, success driven women, women who are easily, or maybe just through hard work, are able to get so much done and achieve so much. And then they get to a point sometimes though when they meet me and they go, wow, I've achieved so much. Is this it? Or I've achieved so much. Why don't I feel happy? Or I've achieved so much. I've had so much success, but I feel like I'm just successful on paper rather than like personally successful. And there are so many things that come up. And a lot of times it's because we are dealing with being reactive. Now, the problem with reactivity is we are constantly responding to others' needs, others' wants, others' agendas, others' goals without prioritizing our own. And many times when I'm speaking on stage, doing a keynote or I'm doing a workshop, I hear people say, I'm not even on my own priority list. And we go through an activity where I get them to write down all the things that are a priority. And they might say, my kids, my work or my business, my marriage or my partner, my pets, my dog. They might add in their health sometimes. They might add in their spiritual life sometimes, but their actual name is not on there. And that's because we're often being reactive to what society is wanting for us or shoulding, making us like that whole should idea, or it is that feeling of the pressure of I'm a woman, I'm a mom, I have to be the greatest mom, the greatest wife, and the greatest neighbor, and the greatest friend. And so, in being reactive to those pressures of society, we start to forget or we don't even look at the pieces that we need and want and desire. So, when you're being reactive, you're going to feel out of control in your life, right? You've given up the reins. And that's one thing we were talking about today is a lot of these women have taken back the reins. And that's how we move into the power of proactivity. Being proactive, because if we're not, default will be work, default will be other people's agendas. And you may be like, no, I get a lot done and I put my needs above others. But the thing is, if people see the free time in your schedule, or I had once a client who she really wanted to go away on the weekends and her daughter felt like she didn't have much of a life. And so she was constantly asked to babysit the dog or dog sit. And so she then felt like, "Ah, I can't go and do things because I have this dog to take care of." And then on the flip side, I've had clients who have grandkids, and then their kids expect them to take care of the grandkids, or because maybe you don't you're not perceived to have a very stressful business, even though you're working, but like, they see you around, they think that then you can take on all these board positions or these other roles where it's just too much, and you don't realize it's too much until you've said yes, 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 yes. And that's when you're being reactive. But when you're being proactive, you're defining your priorities, you're defining your needs, you're defining your wants. And then you're able to put those things potentially ahead of others. And I'm not saying you're a parent and now neglect them. No, it's that once, if we think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the need for safety and a secure, safe environment, right? And food and water. And then we get into like love and things. Once your kids are fine, once other people are fine, you get to step into that place. But if you are not saying yes or knowing first what's important for you and then saying yes to those, how are you ever going to create space for yourself? So the power of proactivity gets you to a place of creating space for yourself that aligns with your goals, with your values, with the things that are most resonant or energy giving for you. Sometimes when we fall into the reactivity, we're saying yes to things that are causing us dissonance, lack of energy, a little bit of friction. And we only have so much time and so much energy and so many resources to give. So when we are being proactive, we're actually able to get the things that we want done. And when we think of it this way, that shift from being reactive to proactive, it's so crucial to be able to take the time to pause and to look at, what do I want in every single area of life? Like, how satisfied am I in every single area? I work with 10 areas. And am I satisfied in this area? Yes or no? What does that look like? And when I am, 6 months, 1 year down the road, what do I want in every area? What do I need in every area? And then beyond that, what's ideal in every area without limitations? So without thinking, well, this is realistic, this is what other people have. It's like, what do you want? What does that look like for you? Once you are able to measure your satisfaction in life. This is something I do in my one-on-one sessions, in my special life balance strategy sessions, or successful and satisfied sessions. It's also something I do in dynamic balance. When you do that, it's going to be so clear. It's going to be so clear as to where you need to put your time, your energy, your resources. So once you have that, and in the dynamic year, I was talking before about how we create your theme and your new paradigm and your guidelines and your values and your goals. And again, when you have that and when you have the wheel of life with the wants and needs for 6 months, a year from now, you're going to be able to start each day with a plan of what to focus on. So rather than sitting back, being reactive, waiting for others to kind of set the agenda for you, you're in this really sweet place of, I already know what I want. I get to not only be proactive in this, but I get to implement things at a pace that's going to have me be even more successful and even more satisfied. So, having that plan is really going to help you to set some boundaries, protecting that time that you have, protecting your energy, keeping you in resonance, and really protecting your resources because we know that we only have so much time, energy, and money to go around, right? So these are the key things. These have been game changers for me as a high achieving woman who's been constantly driven to do and do and do and do some more. I find that, there come moments where I will self abandon for others. I will put others' needs ahead of my own. I will find it hard to say no. And if you're suffering from any of those, then it could be that you are being a bit more reactive in your life and you're not really able to fully design a life you love. And if people are like, oh, well, what if it's so woo woo? Or, Designing a life you love, well, there's realities about what life is, and you can't put everything in your control. But what if you could grab back the reins? Because maybe you're feeling like I'm on a runaway train and I don't know where this track is going, but it feels completely wrong. Or you're in a bus being driven by someone else and you want to get off and you just can't. And you don't know where the stops are and you don't know what it looks like. When you get to be proactive, create your own plan, create what truly matters to you, life will be different. Not only will you be able to satisfy your needs, your wants, your desires, your ideal life, but think of the legacy that you're going to leave. Think of the impact you're going to have on others. That for me was, I knew I was limited if I was to drop everything for everyone else all the time. If I was to say yes to everything that came across my desk, I'd have no time. And we are only given so much time on this earth. And so I hope that today you're going to be thinking about, am I being reactive? Am I dealing with other people's shoulds, other people's agendas, other people's priorities? Or is there time and space, energy, and resources for me and myself? If this is something you want to go through the wheel of life and measuring your satisfaction and coming up with your dynamic life blueprint, reach out to me. We have, or check the show notes. We have our next dynamic year program coming up soon. But if you don't want to do it in the group format, please feel free. Email me, Diane@DianeRolston.com. I'm happy to talk about how we can take this, go through this together in a one-on-one capacity. So until next time, I hope you switch from being reactive to proactive. And even if you're like, I'm super proactive and I have a plan, there are things that you can really evaluate to see if you are fully, completely on the right track for you. Until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.